Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, the Bronson Sky Library. Today I thought I would do another list. It's the list of my top 5 favorite fantasy books / series. And the reason why it's top 5 books and series combined is because I was looking through my shelves and I realized that I don't really have a top 10 or top 5 of series or books alone. And then I thought to myself, do I even read? If I can't come up with a top 5 of just books alone or just series alone, I thought that I must not read things. So yeah, that's why it's combined. Is because I don't read. This is just a front. So Andrew Watson, I think that's his last name? Anyway, Andrew, he did a video like this of his top 10 favorite fantasy books and series, and he mentioned one of, I think the first one, or maybe, yeah, I think the first one he mentioned was Lord of the Rings, and he said, how can you do a list without talking about Lord of the Rings? Well, to that I respond, Andrew, I haven't read The Lord of the Rings, so it's not in my top 5. Sorry, but at least I mentioned it. Just for you. Okay, anyway, so I guess we'll get into the list of my top 5 favorite books / series. Spoiler of this video, 3 out of the 5 are Brandon Sanderson. Again, do I even read other than Brandon Sanderson? Yes, I do. I do read. But I just really like Brandon Sanderson. So anyway, yeah, 3 out of the 5 is Brandon Sanderson. And do I think he's overrated? Yes, I kind of do think he's not overrated, but overhyped. I think he might be overhyped. Yet, here I am, still having 3 out of the 5 be Brandon Sanderson. Starting with the 5th one, it would be The Goose Girl by Shannon Hale. This is probably, I don't know if it's my favorite series or if this is just one of my favorite books of all time. Because I think the series slowly goes downhill after this first one. But I still really like the series. It's just this first book was really, really good, and I absolutely love it, and I think everyone should read it. So this is about a girl named Ani. She is the crown princess, but she is shipped off to a foreign land to marry the prince. But then her lady-in-waiting takes her place and kind of just casts Annie off into the forest. And so Annie has to find her way to this foreign land by herself and take back what was once hers. So that's what this book is about, and it's just really good. I think everyone should read it. Not a lot of people talk about it, so I think that's, yeah. This is number 5. Coming in at number 4 is The Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. So I think the series is in my top 5, but then book 2 is my favorite out of the series so far because it's really good. I think I read this one in about a week. Yeah, I read it in a week, but it's really good. And Kaladin is a great character. This one is based off of Shallan. It has flashbacks of Shallan in it, but the flashbacks were really good, and I don't know, this is where everyone comes together, and it's brilliant, and it was really fun. So this is the one that I remember the most, and it's my favorite. Alright, and then coming in at number 3, we have the Percy Jackson series. Will always probably be one of my all-time favorite series. It's the series that I grew up reading. It's one of the series that got me into reading more than than the average Joe. So yeah, the Percy Jackson series will always, always, always be one of my favorites. It's just, that's just how it is. But the first one, I think, might be one of my favorites. But the fifth one is probably one of my favorites out of the series, because this is where it doesn't really do the formula that it has throughout books 1 through 4. And that's probably why I really love this. And this is where just everything comes together. So book 5 is probably my favorite out of all of them, but book 1 comes a close second, and the whole series, the series as a whole, is just my favorite. I love it. Yeah. Okay, and then coming in at number 2, another Sanderson. It's Mistborn, of course. This series will also be one of my favorite series of all time. I don't know specifically which book is my favorite out of the trilogy, but just know that this trilogy will always be in my top 5, probably. It's just, it's one of the series that I read after high school, and it just brought me so much joy, and it was just so much fun. I tried reading it when I was like 12, but the magic and just the writing just went right over my head. But when I read it after high school, it just worked. The magic system is really cool. The characters, Vin, my favorite. So yeah, I think it's a very well rounded fantasy trilogy, and it's a trilogy that anyone, I think, can get into. This is a trilogy that if someone wants to get into fantasy, you should pick this up if you want into adult fantasy, because it kind of sits between the adult and YA, and it's just a really good starting point. So this will be my favorite. This is my favorite. And then
my all-time favorite book of all time
is yet another Sanderson, and that would be The Arithmetist. I love it. This book is what got me back into reading after I had to be in like AP Lit classes throughout junior high, honors English and AP Lit classes throughout junior high and high school, and I just had to read classic novels the whole time, and I could never read books that I wanted to read. And so once I read this, it was my senior year of high school. When I read this, it just brought back my love for reading again, because it was so much fun, and yeah, it was just awesome. This book is just awesome. That's the only way I can explain it, is that this book is awesome. It will always have a spot in my heart because it's just so great, and I love it a lot. And I just want the second book, damn it. Anyway, so that is my top 5. Ooh, I do have honorable mentions though. Honorable mention number 1 is Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. I haven't finished the trilogy yet, but so far it is so fun and it is so good that, yeah, I don't know. So far it's just really fun. Once I finish reading it, maybe it will probably bump into like my favorites, but maybe it will be in the 6th spot and I'll eventually work up to top 5 or top 10. It's an honorable mention because I haven't finished the series yet, so I really want to finish the series first before I continue. I want to finish the series first before it gets on to my top 10 or top 5 or whatever. So, yeah. And then another honorable mention would be The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. I just finished this book last night, and it was so good. It was brilliant. That's all I can say. But I also haven't finished the series. I mean, there's only 2 books so far, but I think the 3rd one comes out this year, and I'm really excited for that because this book was so good. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, those are my top 5 fantasy favorite books and series. I did not say that correctly, but there you go. Those are my top 5 favorite fantasy books and series, and let me know what your favorites are, and if you like any of these, what your thoughts on them are. And yeah, I will see you guys again. Bye!